The next set of commands we need to learn is on input-output redirection. Now let's look at some theory. Redirection simply means capturing output from a file, command, program, script, and sending it as an input to another file, command, program, or a script. This we have already looked at it here and there. For example, when I say pwd $ls, this is not a redirection because you are doing two commands. Instead of typing in two different lines, you are just typing it in a single line. Now what is redirection mean? The output from this previous command, if it is given as an input to the next command. One example. Cat etc password. When I say NL, when I say cat etc password, when I give this as an input to NL, it will give me the line numbers. Of course, I can simply say cat NL etc password also. The point I wanted to highlight is the output from this command will be given as input to this NL. So one example is, another example is this one as well. When I say if my file line size is very small, screen size, when I say cat etc password, it displays more than one screen size. We have already used this command called more. I'm saying that stop it right away on the screen size. The output from etc password cat is given as an input to more command. But the important point from Unix point of view is, whenever you do play on these, it's like one file. We looked at these options, right? The maximum number of files you can open as per limit is 1024. Whenever you play on anything, Unix treats that you are working on a file, and each file has a file descriptor associated with it. Now what is a file descriptor? A file descriptor is an index for an entry in a kernel resident data structure containing the details of all open files. This table we call it as a file descriptor table. Each of the files that we are working, each of the things that we are currently open will be under this file descriptor file. In short, everything in Unix is a file. For example, the below are also treated as files. Standard input, standard output, standard error output. Standard input, the file descriptor number is 0, generally keyboard. Standard output, the file descriptor number is 1, generally it's on a screen. Error output, the file descriptor number is 2, generally again on a screen. Here is an example of some output redirection. When I say ls, it displays on the screen. When I say ls greater, it displays, it pushes the output to this file called listing. For example, when I say ls listing, the output came on this listing here. But when I say ls double greater than listing, it will append to the existing file. I'll show you one example. When I say cat d.sh, when I say cat d.sh and redirect to listing, the listing already has output from previous ls command, right? But that will be overwritten. A single greater will overwrite it. But whereas when I specify double greater, it will append to it. That's why if I open listing using a vi command, I have output from a previous d.sh, then I have an ls options. So single greater creates a new file or overwrites an existing file. Double greater which appends to an existing file. If the file does not exist, it will create one. Now this is a beautiful thing, one cool thing. TTY, right? Let me open another session, duplicate session. What is this terminal ID? When I say ls, redirect to PTS 0. You don't have permission. Why? Okay, because that might be opened by root initially. You see, I'm not only writing the input to a file, even I have an option to redirect output to some other terminal. See, look at this. I redirected my output from this command, this guy. Echo I PS2 the message is coming here. You can surprise people with this, man. It's just like some fun stuff. But the point here is you can redirect it to anywhere you want as long as you have permissions. Are we good with this so far? Output redirection?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, you can also redirect input as well. So the standard input is keyboard. You can take input from file as well. To take such input, so whenever mostly we say that, we just type here, right? Instead of that, we can simply say for word count, take input from d.sh. If I go to temp, word count d.sh. You can combine both in the one shot. Take input from d.sh, write output to d.sh.out. Right. So the file descriptor number for input is 0 and output is 1, and for error 2. This we have already used in our previous find example. So let me go here to opt. When I say du-s, there is some error here. So if I don't want that error, I can simply say device null. I can use this. I'll only see the total file size or total size occupied by this OPT directory. These three are very small topic, but literally helps us to understand and play around the input, output and error. So in one shot, in simple terms, default input is keyboard, default output is screen, and default output error is screen, but we can change those stuff using this greater than and double greater than and less than and this 2 and greater than options. Any questions on these three?